If you like My Hero Academia, you have probably tried to make some sort of OC before. Even if you're not an artist, maybe you thought of, what would my quirk be if I was in the My Hero Academia universe? But you know, maybe these thoughts aren't so great, especially in the year 2025 when so many people have access to AI. There is some sort of epidemic on Pinterest right now where literally every single My Hero Academia OC is made by AI, and it's just like, oh, girl with purple hair. Or girl with ghosts coming out of her hands. Can we be a little bit more creative, maybe? And I see so much public support of these AI characters being like, oh, they're so pretty, oh my god, like, I wish this character was real. But they have really no thought or intention that go behind the ideas. They're just kind of slopped together to look pretty or look like the style, which is not creative at all. And for non-artists, there are ways to get around this, like commissioning people or even drawing over an already made screenshot. Like, I'm an artist and I do that all the time, and it's fun. So for this video, I'm going to be taking two designs that I found on Pinterest where I think that their quirks could make cute designs and make them into my own OCs. While at first glance this design is really cute, it's really pink and adorable, but there's a lot of things that are kind of odd about it, like these kind of frills. That's not how axolotl like frills look, and if you look, there's like weird tangents here that shouldn't be happening. They kind of meld together, which is very odd. There's just overall a sense this is AI. The hair's kind of weird where it just kind of like oddly like looks like the frills as well. When it's supposed to be hair, because up here it's hair. And then this tail is not reminiscent of axolotl because it's just like kind of a flesh blob where it's supposed to have like kind of like, you know, the transparent edge and then like the inner part. If you really sit down and think about axolotl being a superpower, it's not very viable, is it? Mostly they're just kind of like these silly creatures that sit around, but I think axolotls do a few things that are kind of worth noting. They can like regenerate their limbs to a certain degree, so that could be part of the quirk, but it's a little bit gruesome if you think about having a person do that. They can breathe underwater, which is pretty cool because they're like a newt. And they also have heightened smell, so thinking about that, those are some elements that could be used for their superpower, but it's not as versatile as, say, Suyu's quirk. But you know, at the end of the day, it makes for a really cute design because axolotls are adorable, and who wouldn't want to turn some AI SLOP axolotl My Hero Academia art into their own OC? For naming her, I decided to name her Upa Hanzaki because in Japanese, axolotls are commonly referred to as Oompa Roompa, and Hanzaki is what they call the Japanese giant salamander. I just thought it was a funny play on words, and this is how Horikoshi tends to name his characters. If you've ever looked up the translations for a lot of the characters, look up Denki Kaminari, it'll give you a laugh. Also, for designing this character, as you can see now, I really wanted to feature both the official My Hero Academia style in my work as well as my own personal style because they tend to differ a little bit, and definitely in terms of the rendering. I want this to both feel like my own character, but also that she fits into the universe, so that's why I included both styles. People always like to say that AI art lacks soul, but like, what does this really mean? If you like think back to what the original of this character looked like I said, a lot of the elements didn't really make sense. It looked good, sure, but it didn't really have any thought behind it, and it doesn't tell a story. Art is storytelling, and without it, it's just a pretty picture on a screen and it means literally nothing. It's just an anime girl looking at you, which, sure, is cute for an icon, but you're never gonna form an emotional relationship with this character at all because they literally mean nothing and no thought was put into it. So, of course, I had to think about what she would wear as her hero outfit because this is a big part of the character's personalities in the show, instead of just some generic outfit that they gave her or the school uniform, which is easy for an AI to replicate. Since Upa will probably be fighting underwater most of the time, I gave her kind of a suit based off a swimsuit, which I know some people do not like, but since it fits her design and character, I feel like it's fitting. Hagakure, on the other hand, she deserved better, whatever. I thought that a really cute kind of two-piece would really suit her, kind of integrating different parts of an axolotl's body, such as kind of the stomach, the frills, like I said, adding some pink pops to like her thighs and her shoes and like her shoulders. just to get the balance right. And then also I wanted to have these piercing blue eyes because, you know, that's what the pink axolotls have, and it's why they're so cute. And honestly, I thought it would be a great thing to add to my character to make them really pop. If you want to fight back against the AI epidemic, I have something for you. Learn how to improve your art or do any other skill with Skillshare. I have a link in the description below, and my coupon code is Octowings07252. So if you want to get started today and get 1 month free with Skillshare, go check it out below. Anyway, let's get back to talking about UPA. When making an OC, something important to think about is you don't want to make all your characters look the same, or else you're kind of just spitting out the same image with different hair or different eyes every time. You want to make sure that they feel like real people. I wanted to showcase UPA's laid-back but also really bubbly personality through this drawing, and I think I was able to do that, and you can do that even through their design, not even through the pose or the way that you're storytelling through your piece. The way that her hair curls upwards and kind of all over the place, as well as her frills, kind of show that she is more carefree and exciting, but at the same time it leaves things up for interpretation for the viewer, which is really important as well. It makes them more two-dimensional. And just making sure that their costume is exciting, but at the same time not too much to where you kind of lose the overall picture. Towards the end of this drawing, I decided that I really wanted like the frills, because they're like the axolotl's gills. I've been calling them frills, but at the end of the day, they're the gills, right? So pardon me. But I really wanted them to pop and have this really bright, like, pink. But obviously, I also needed it to stand out against her skin, which is also kind of pink, and her hair, which is also kind of pink. So just leaning into this really vibrant tone really helped pull this whole thing together and balance it out. And I'm overall really happy with how she turned out. And I am excited to get on to my next one as well, because they're equally as fun. Again, this is a really cute design, but the thing is, where's the mouth? Where is the mouth? Anyway, I just feel like the horns aren't consistent and they're just kind of slapped on there. Same thing with the ears, they're all different shapes. If you look at this, all different shapes. And like, okay, the skin tones here don't match up, and you can say lighting, but no, they should be the same color as the face. Yeah, it's just not consistent. Anyway, let's turn this into a much better design. I changed this one so much more than UPA's, and you'll see that. So the original image was just some kind of girl with white hair, probably based off some kind of sheep or goat. But you know, I wanted to make it a little bit more precise, so I decided to make a character that is based off of a Nubian ibex. Ibex are so cool, and thinking about them as a superpower is so much more viable than an axolotl, because they can actually do crazy stuff. They're great at climbing. They can almost climb up completely vertical slopes due to like the way that their hooves are able to grip different surfaces, and they're also very agile. And they have these amazing horns, which they use both for fighting and also just to show off. And in addition to this, Nubian ibex are known to have a very high heat tolerance due to the climate that they live in. In terms of naming my character, her name is Kamoshishi Yagi, and she also goes as Shi Shi. Yagi is a common translation of goat in Japanese, and Kamoshishi or Kamoshika is a name for another animal called a Japanese sero, which is another common goat in the area. In terms of my character's skin color, I chose to go with a darker shade than the original because a lot of AI programs are just programmed to see white as the default and use that for most of the designs unless you tell them otherwise. But also, Nubian ibex are usually found in Egypt, Sudan, and like Saudi Arabia area. So I wanted to base my character around that ethnicity as well. And at the end of the day, these are My Hero Academia characters, so I thought it would be really fun if I made her go to Shinketsu High, because most OCs are from 1A, UA, you know, the main class, main school, But you know, we gotta throw in some varieties. I knew she would look good in that navy, so of course I'm gonna make her from Shinketsu. So that's the outfit that I decided to draw her in for like my Hero official like stylized version. When I was reworking this character, actually this was my second attempt. I earlier on tried to do it and I just kind of really played into this like mountain climber kind of vibe, and I gave her like these really cute puffy braids, and I really wanted to pull that into this design as well because they were so successful. And I also made the hair color slightly more pigmented than the original, giving them a little bit more of a tan shade, but also keeping them really light so that they really complement her skin tone. I really wanted her design to be also simple, but also really pull off the job in telling you that she's an ibex, and also really stick with the whole practicality thing, because in my mind, she's a really practical girl. She's really dependable, knows what she's doing, and really good at climbing. So I wanted to base her on real life climbing equipment and just what a climber would typically wear to be the most comfortable, but also still keeping it really cool. Something that I really like to do with my OCs for some reason is take an animal, use it as a quirk, and then make them have really weird hands or really weird feet. So these two fall into the category of having really weird feet. I haven't figured out if I want Shi Shi's like feet to actually be like hooves or if these are shoes. I kind of left it up to interpretation. So let me know what you think would be better in the comment section below. Upa's are shoes. She has normal feet. She has webbed hands though, if you didn't catch on to that. But that's not as weird as like my other OCs. Like Sei and Connie, Sei literally has like the praying mantis like mandible hands, and then Connie has like crab claws. So I just either get rid of their hands or feet. I think her face also was really successful, especially in my render of her. I really wanted to keep it kind of consistent with the My Hero Academia style, so I kind of left her like My Hero Academia styles one, kind of regular. But the one that I did of her, I wanted to make the bottom of her nose really resemble like a sheep's nose, and I think it was really successful with coming down to like the dark top lip that really kind of makes the silhouette of the face really pop out. Also, the horns were so fun to draw and they really make her really stand out. And I think that the horns are like the defining feature, almost like, you know, the gills are on Upa. And I really like when all of my characters have really noticeable and recognizable silhouettes, and the horns really help Shi Shi stand out as my character, and also they stand out so much more than the AI version where they weren't even thinking about silhouette because they can't, because they're a robot and that sucks, womp womp. Also, my characters have some lore. They're lovers because Yuri win and they met at the licensing exam. Oh my god, big shock, where Shinketsu and UA students meet. That's kind of crazy, right? Anyway, that's where they met, and now they're lovers, and they're so cute, and their dynamic is amazing. Anyway, if you have any ideas on how they would be like in their relationship, let me know in the comment section below. I'm not a big fan of shipping, but if it's my own characters, like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm so okay with that. I'm mostly just a disgusting self-shipper. Yeah. But anyway, Upa and Shi Shi forever. Hashtag slay. And this is like how my design for Shi Shi turned out. She looks so cool. I love her. And I think the hat just looks amazing. If I have to rework her into a non-My Hero Academia OC for my portfolio, I'll have to get rid of it, but it'll work. It'll work. Trust. And yeah, here are my two designs of my characters, Upa Hanzaki and Kamoshishi Yagi. I love them so much, and they were in love, and they're beautiful. And they are so much better than their origin. Hashtag AI SLOP. Well, anything's better than AI SLOP. So even if you're a little bit weary about your art abilities, just try to make it OC. It doesn't have to be perfect, and my first attempts at an OC back in 2020, you saw that in the beginning of the video, they were questionable. But I believe in you, and you can do it, and it'll be better than AI no matter what you make, because it'll have soul, and there will be actual meaning and intent behind your designs. Let's fight back against this AI apocalypse, right guys? Take my hand and let's go make some really fun My Hero Academia OCs together. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you made it this far, why not like and subscribe? Because it really does mean the world to me, and you will become a beautiful member of the Octowings community. And then really quickly, I'm just going to mention that my Etsy shop is open. We make really cool products based around My Hero Academia, Splatoon, Pokemon, and Zelda, and more. They're all really high quality and also really affordable, and it would mean the world if you could support me there as well. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!